Good Monday afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Lauren Lemanchek. Just in today, the man accused of killing a 26-year-old during an Eid prayer service at Expo Center last week has been charged. Mohammed Abdi Rizak Rajeh is facing one count of second-degree murder. He's accused of shooting and killing 26-year-old Khalid Abdi last Wednesday. According to court records, surveillance footage shows Rajeh talking with Abdi before following him to the parking lot. Officers say that's when a fight broke out between the two men. Witnesses say Rajeh then pulled out a gun and fired 1 to 2 shots. If Rajeh is convicted, he faces a maximum of 30 years in prison. Today, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan is officially filing to be on Minnesota's ballot for U.S. Senate.
This has always been a campaign about the many versus the money. And so that's what we're going to continue to deliver on. And I will just tell you, I am so clear that I'm running to help people afford the lives they want to live. People are ready for universal child care. They are ready for a national paid family and medical leave program. They are ready to raise the federal minimum wage and index it to inflation. And boy, are they ready for Medicare for all.
It comes after she secured the DFL endorsement over the weekend at the state convention in Rochester. Other DFL endorsements went to Amy Klobuchar in the governor's race and Keith Ellison for attorney general. Meanwhile, Republicans held their convention up in Duluth. The big battle was between Lisa Dameth and Kendall Qualls for governor. Qualls ended up with the endorsement, but some are questioning the accuracy of the count after the convention suffered voting issues with some clickers not working. We reached out to the GOP party about the issue, but they told us no comment. This weekend, the Minnesota DFL officially endorsed Senator Amy Klobuchar as their candidate in the race for governor. And ahead of the state convention, Klobuchar also unveiled her running mate, former Fergus Falls Mayor Ben Shire. Here's Danny Spiewak with a look at his background.
Senator Klobuchar's selection of former Fergus Falls Mayor Ben Shire as her running mate for lieutenant governor shows that she's courting greater Minnesota as she positions herself for a general election in November against a Republican candidate. Until this selection, Shire had been seeking the DFL endorsement for another statewide office, state auditor. We sat down with Shire at Kare 11 Studios back in early April to talk about that previous run for auditor. He was first elected to the Fergus Falls City Council in 2004 and served 2 terms later as the mayor of the city from 2016 to 2024. In the auditor race, Shire had endorsements from a wide range of DFL politicians, including from more progressive Democrats like U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar and more moderate Democrats like former Congressman Collin Peterson. In our conversation with Shire, he described himself as a rural progressive in a red area of Minnesota.
I've built relationships across the state with local leaders. As a Democrat, the DFL in Minnesota, if we're going to be a party for the entire state, I firmly believe that we have to have candidates from the entire state who've lived and served and worked in some of the communities that we've lost as a party over the last couple decades. So making those connections, there's a real opportunity, I think, for Democrats to win back some of the voters that we've lost.
Klobuchar's campaign says Shire would be the first statewide candidate elected from that western Minnesota congressional district in a half-century.
And the primaries to officially elect nominees will take place in August. This afternoon, an ICE agent is sitting in a Texas detention facility awaiting extradition to Minnesota after he was denied bond at his first court appearance Saturday. 52-year-old Christian Castro was charged earlier this month, and you can see the criminal complaint right here, in connection with the January shooting during Operation Metro Surge. It's not yet clear when Castro will be brought to Minnesota, but Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty told us Friday she hopes that happens within days. Prosecutors say he fired into a North Minneapolis home where 4 adults were hiding, including Julio Sosa Solis, who was shot in the leg. The video shows moments leading up to the gunfire. Moriarty says Castro claimed he shot in self-defense after being confronted by men carrying shovels and brooms, but surveillance video contradicts that account. A Homeland Security spokesperson told Kare 11 the charges are unlawful and nothing more than a political stunt. He is the second federal agent to be criminally charged for conduct during Operation Metro Surge. Right now, the man accused of shooting 2 people outside a graduation ceremony at the University of Minnesota is back in court. Prosecutors say 21-year-old Hamza Saeed is seen on surveillance video firing multiple rounds outside of Wayzata High School's graduation ceremony last spring. He has already pled guilty to illegally owning a machine gun. Developing today, the alleged leader of a pull-tab ring accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars has been sentenced. Aaron King Sr. will spend 6.5 years behind bars. Charging documents say he led a group that stole more than $200,000 in pull-tab cash from bars and restaurants in the metro. Investigators say they used crowbars and sledgehammers to break into safes. King will also have to pay $18,000 in restitution. Developing right now, the United States and Iran traded airstrikes over the weekend amid talks to end the war. The U.S. says it carried out defense strikes in Iranian sites, and Iran says it targeted an airbase used in the U.S. attack. NBC's Richard Engel has the latest.
There have been new exchanges of fire between Iran and the U.S. while the world is still waiting for President Trump and Iran's top leaders to agree to a ceasefire. The U.S. military says it carried out attacks against what it called radar sites and command and control locations inside Iran. Iran responding by firing missiles and drones at Kuwait, where there are many U.S. troops based. There were no reports of any casualties, but this does complicate ceasefire negotiations. Also complicating the talks, Iran insists that any deal must also include Lebanon. But the war between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon is only intensifying, with Israeli troops who are already inside Lebanon pushing deeper, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying just today in a video statement that Israeli troops will begin attacking Dahieh, which is the southern suburb of Beirut, where Hezbollah has long had a stronghold. Netanyahu says that as long as Hezbollah has a safe haven and continues to carry out attacks against northern Israel, the war in Lebanon will intensify. Richard Engel, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
An update this afternoon, the cruise ship linked to the hantavirus outbreak has now been cleared to go back to service. Over the weekend, Dutch officials gave the approval after a multi-day cleaning and disinfection process. The ship's operator says all 8 decks were treated by biosecurity specialists, and officials confirm it is rodent-free. Oceanwide Expeditions says the virus did not originate from the ship. It is expected to begin its Arctic season next week. Some big news today in COVID prevention. A new pill has just been approved meant to prevent you from getting sick even after you've been exposed to an infected person. It's called Zocova. It's a 5-day pill regimen approved by the FDA for anyone 12 years and older. The drug maker says it works by blocking viral replication of the disease before symptoms develop. During trials, it reduced the risk of developing symptoms by 67%. But there are some side effects, including headache, diarrhea, and cough. New video showing a massive tunnel between Tijuana, Mexico and the United States. Mexican authorities say that tunnel runs for about 3 football fields and is believed to have been used as a trafficking center for weapons, explosives, and illegal drugs. Jeanette Quezada reports.
This is video NBC7 obtained from the Mexican District Attorney's Office of the operation conducted Sunday on the Mexican side of the border. Federal agents discovered a tunnel they say is nearly 3 football fields long. It includes lighting, ventilation, and a sliding mechanism that connects both sides of the border, according to Mexican authorities. Dr. Andres Sumano, who's an expert in public policy, says these tunnels are benefiting criminal organizations on both sides of the border since the 90s.
They are still using these types of tunnels, and the Baja Cali region, it's still the epicenter of synthetic drug trafficking.
Mexican authorities say with the help of security agencies, they carried out a search warrant in a Tijuana home for a violation of federal law involving weapons, explosives, and health laws. Once Mexican authorities accessed the property, they found it was operating as a possible storage facility for the trafficking of weapons, explosives, and drugs, adding that the tunnel possibly connects to a known San Diego street. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed to NBC7 they are conducting a criminal criminal investigation involving an underground tunnel in Otay Mesa, but didn't confirm if the business on Roll Avenue is connected.
Right where we are standing, we can actually see several agents in front of one of the storefronts in that area. We can also see that that area has been taped off.
Experts say given the political climate, this is an important find since the U.S. government has been asking Mexico to crack down on drug trafficking. Homeland Security Investigations told NBC7 they are not providing additional details to protect the integrity of the ongoing investigation.
Well, now turning to sports, tennis superstar Serena Williams says she'll be back on the court. The 23-time Grand Slam singles champion is expected to play in the doubles tournament in London next week. It comes after a 4-year break following the loss in the third round at the U.S. Open in 2022. While at the same time, Williams said she was evolving away from tennis, she never formally announced her retirement. Stick with us. There's more news and weather coming up after the break.